Wow. So this looks pretty cool. What are we looking at,
All
Michael?
right. We've explained further about the cocoa,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of what I'm trying to tell you is that we can get a lot out of cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from being eating this as a fruit, we
Mm-hmm.
can still get something out of cocoa, like chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
Milo, cocoa powder, brown good can be produced out of cocoa.
Wow.
And how are we going to get a chocolate out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a fresh cocoa pod.
Mm-hmm.
But before, unless we do a process called the fermentation, and how we're going to do the fermentation also is just to go in for plantain leaves or
Okay.
banana leaves,
Okay.
and then strike your cocoa pod, take out the beans, and then wrap them in the leaves for 7 days. And this is the how we break the cocoa pod.
Okay. Ooh.
So this will be how the beans are arranged in the
Wow.
pod.
Let me see.
This how it
Oh,
looks
it's
like.
so slimy.
Yes.
It smells. Yeah, it
And this
kind of
can
smells
also
like
be eaten.
chocolate.
So you just take a beans.
Just like that. Okay. It's so slimy. I ate the whole thing.
Yeah, eat the whole thing.
Okay.
But just that we don't chew it, just suck around it.
Okay.
And then you bring out the seed like this.
Okay.
Okay. So still the fermentation is ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
So after you are done with the strike, then we take off the beans like this. And then you put them on the leaf. And then we cover. And we are doing the fermentation because we want to change this color, this white color to brown.
Okay.
Because if we don't do the fermentation, we are not going to get the flavor of the chocolate.
I see.
Do you understand?
Mhm.
So we just cover like this.
Mhm.
And also, during the fermentation, we don't allow air to get into contact with these beans,
Okay.
else the beans are going to get germinated.
Okay.
And if so, we need to plant them.
Mhm.
Do you understand?
Mhm.
And we are not ready to plant cocoa anymore. But we want to get a dry bean so that we can use for the production of the chocolate, the Milo, cocoa powder, brown good, and many more. So, because we don't want these beans to become germinate, then we have to put some sticks or stones around it to make it very firm
Okay.
to avoid air. So let's assume that this is our sticks.
Okay.
We just place them around, make
Okay.
it very firm, leave it for the first 3 days. After first 3 days, we come around and then we open. There is a placental that binds the beans together. And after 3 days, the placentals are no more useful. So we have to separate the beans from the placental. And that's how we go.
And what happens after the 3 days if the color or the fermentation
The
was
color
not
will,
from
the color will start coming.
Okay.
So it will be changing from white, but
Okay.
not fully brown. Do
Okay.
you understand?
Mhm.
So when we are done with the removal of the placenta, then we heap the beans again. So that we cover again and leave it for another 2 days. So first 3, second 2, making 5 days. So 5 days, you see that the changes will be coming more, and it only happens at the surface. Do you understand? But because the beans will be more, if you go beneath 4 inches, that part will be zero fermented. So we have to mix the beans for each bean to become well fermented. And that's how we go. Afterwards, we heap it again, and then we cover, leave it for the last 2 days. So the process will go like 3, 2, 2, making 7. So after the 7th day or the end of the fermentation, then we will totally see the beans to be brown. Then
Like
it-
this.
Yes, it will become like this, but it will still be wet, which needs to be dried.
Okay.
So let's come here.
Okay.
So after 5th day, this will be the main color of the beans. You see that it has changing from white to brown.
Mhm.
Do you understand? So this is how it is. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
from here, then we send it back here. We send it back onto this mat.
Okay.
And you know, in Ghana, we only dried our cocoa beans under direct sun. And it should be done on this mat. And this mat was made from a raffia tree.
Oh,
Then
wow.
we tied it with these ropes, made it in such a way that when it's about to rain, we can just roll it like this to prevent these beans from becoming
getting
wet.
wet.
Because if so, you the farmer may lose your price at the market. So when we are doing the drying, we don't just do it at anywhere, but only at home, so that whenever we are not around, we can get somebody to assist us to prevent these beans from becoming wet. And then we do the drying for 3 weeks under direct sun. And after 3 weeks, then it dries to become like this. And these are going to be the end product from any cocoa farmer. And from the cocoa farmer, then they sell to the companies for the production of the chocolate, the Milo, cocoa powder, brown good, and many more.
So a lot of the chocolate companies like Nestle, Milo, really any chocolate company that's
Companies,
out there.
yes.
So this is what they purchase from the
Yes,
from
the
the
farm-
farmer.
the- from the farmers.
Okay, and then they take it to their facility and they do the processing
that is
and
it.
everything.
That is
Okay.
it.
Wow. Looks good.